Hey everyone, it's Agnach here. Welcome to another video. In today's video I'm bringing a recap from the WCL Elite division. This is a tournament where the rules are 20 versus 20 and it has a 5v5 war in case of a draw. So for the tiebreaker, we won the round of 16 and had our quarterfinals against Inquisition. Our 20v20 finish in a perfect versus perfect war. Both teams had 60 stars each and we had to play the tiebreaker. For the tiebreaker, Resi brought TK, Trento, CJ, Cooper and myself, and Inquisition had Epi, Antibiotics, Bats, Vendetta and Squeeze. Winner of this war moves to the semifinals of the tournament, so let's see how we went. Cooper started us off against Squeeze, coming in with the hybrid, and he's got the usual hybrid with the Queen Charge. Uses a Yeti at 1 and a Baby Dragon at 11 just to funnel the Queen so that she goes inside for the Town Hall. Now in this tournament, this was just before the Town Hall 14 dropped, so this was kind of like our last tournament as Town Hall 13s. Uses the Hawk there to funnel that Tesla just to make sure that the Queen does walk in, and sends all of his healers in for the Queen. Puts the Rage down, the Town Hall is gonna go down, and she's just gonna be able to keep going around that compartment, getting rid of more defenses. Sends the Super Wall Breaker. Super Wall Breaker goes all the way inside and opens up the Expo compartment, which is gonna give the Queen range for the Eagle as well once she walks in there, if she does. Puts the King and the Siege Barracks at 9, and then he sends the hybrid in between around 10 o'clock. They're gonna be going all the way inside towards those two Inferno compartments. Uses the Warden ability nice and early. They're gonna be able to get rid of the King, then they're gonna be able to get rid of the Queen, and they're gonna be able to continue all the way into the base. The Queen uses another Rage, gets rid of both Expos, and she's gonna be able to walk towards the cannon and get rid of the Eagle. Now the King and the P.E.K.K.A. from the Siege Barracks, they ended up going into that compartment, funneling the hybrid and making sure that it stays in a narrow path towards the center of the base. The Queen's still alive with all her healers. He still has one more freeze. He still has the Royal Champ ability, and now they're going towards the back end of the base. Uses the freeze for the scatter shot and the Expo perfectly, and the Expo ends up going down. The Queen ends up getting rid of the multi-inferno, and this was a very nice triple by Coop, getting rid of the rest of the defenses, and started us off with a nice triple in this war against Inquisition. Then Inquisition ended up coming in themselves with a triple of their own, and it was Bats coming in with the E-Drags. They ended up coming against my base, and on this base I ended up trapping this attack. However, the attack that I trapped was with the blimp from behind, and they ended up coming with the blimp from the front, which obviously ended up working. So he uses the Warden ability nice and early, then he puts the double rages like every other E-Drag attacker does. Uses the freeze for the scatter shot and the defending Queen. Uses the poison for the super minions, and all of the dragons are flying in. He still has a couple of freezes, and he's got one more rage to use. Uses the freeze for the Inferno and the Air Expo. I did have a couple of Air Expos for this base, however it didn't end up working. He did send the blimp from the front, gets rid of the Town Hall. This base has defended with 1 stars before when the people have tried blimping from behind. However, this attacker was smart and got rid of everything. Since the Royal Champion, it was targeted by the single Inferno, so has to use the Royal Champ ability. And this was a nice triple by Bats against my base with the E-Drags. Then we have TK coming in with the Lalo. He's got 4 freezes, 3 haste, a Scaling Spell, Poison, and 2 rages. So it puts the Ice Golem down with the King and the Wizard just to funnel 6 o'clock. The Ice Golem obviously tanking for the BK, the Baby Dragon at 4 o'clock just to create a bit of funneling. He's got another Baby Dragon that he's going to be using soon to funnel the King. So he puts the Baby Dragon there at 7 o'clock just to make sure that the King goes inside into the compartment where the Royal Champion and the Scatter Shot is. The Ice Golem still tanking for the BK, so he's going to be able to get rid of the cannon. and then he's gonna be able to go inside. He does put the Skelly spell there to distract the royal champion and uses the king ability. Now he sends an Axe Golem with the queen and the royal champion. He wants the royal champion to funnel on the right hand side, gets rid of one of the ADs. The queen gets rid of the other AD, and then she's gonna be able to go for the temple. Uses a freeze for the headhunters there. However, the royal champion was being targeted by the single inferno, so she does quickly. And now the queen is gonna get stuck on the lava hound, and the expo is hitting her. She's already used her ability, so she's gonna be dying pretty soon, and she doesn't end up popping the lava hound here. Then he is thinking what to do, so he sends a few Cocoloons, and then the slammer from behind. They're going to be able to target the expo and the sweeper in the center of the base. Then after that, the slammer is going to be able to go for the scatter shot. Then he decides to start with his Lalo from 8 to 9 o'clock, flying all the way in, puts the haste down just to speed them up. Double haste there. The slammer is now going to be going to the scatter shot, and also the queen starts targeting the slammer. He does send a couple of headhunters, well, 3 headhunters with a warden ability, get rid of the queen nice and quickly. The loons and the dragon from the slammer end up triggering the tornado trap, and then they end up killing the CC lava hound. Puts the rage down for the loons. They get rid of the archer towers nice and quick. Some of them fly to the 12 o'clock, so they have to backtrack a little bit, but they get rid of that wizard tower nice and quick. He still has 2 more freezes to use. Uses one of them for the single inferno and the wizard tower. The loons end up pathing to the wizard tower. He still has 1 more freeze to use, which he doesn't need, and this was a nice triple by TK. Now just clearing the rest of the base. 1 elixir container left. We get rid of it nice and quick, and we swag that freeze. Very nicely done by TK on Vendetta. Then we had Vendetta coming against TK, so having a Vendetta of his own. Coming in with a Chinese match, the 3 Pegas full with super wizards, and he's got a blimp as well. So he starts at 6 o'clock with his queen. He's gonna be holding on the healers until the AD goes down, otherwise the AD would be targeting the healer, so pretty good move. He also has 1 headhunter that is gonna help him assist the killing of the hero, so let's see what he does. Puts the Cocoloon down, the healer is down, and now the queen keeps going in. Puts the warden behind the queen to support, and now the queen is going against the king. Sends the headhunter. That's gonna be a nice and quick kill. He did send a super wall breaker at the wizard tower at 8, and then I think he's gonna be using his 2nd super wall breaker to open up that compartment, so that his troops can go into the scatter shot. He uses the baby dragon 9 o'clock just to funnel a little bit, puts the rage down. He did have like 4 rages on this attack, which is quite a fair bit. Puts the king with the witches at 10 o'clock, and then the rest of the army going in. Finds the Tesla farm where the king is. Puts the jump down as well for the center of the base. The CC comes out, is the super minions with the headhunters. Puts the poison down for the super minions, and uses the warden ability nicely, and then everything goes into the center of the base. Uses the blimp from 10 o'clock to go directly into the town hall, and it's gonna make it. The queen is in the center of the base, and she can access everything, pretty much can get rid of the single inferno, the scatter shot, the expo, and that jump is still there for her to get out of that compartment and continue killing more defenses. She's also going to be able to target the royal champion once she moves a little bit further south, and he has his own royal champion coming from 12, clearing some more defenses with the witches from behind just to clear the buildings that she leaves behind. Uses the queen ability, the royal champion goes down. Now she's going to be able to get rid of the eagle, and he still has the royal champ ability. Uses the royal champ ability now, and this base is gone. The queen is going to be able to clear the rest of the defenses. He still has 1 more super wall breaker that he doesn't need, and very nicely done by Vendetta on TK. So now we're 2 and 2, so let's see who gets defenses. The 3rd triple for us came from CJ, and he usually uses Lalo, but on this occasion he saw this base and he thought that witches would be really good. Brings the zigzags and 1 quake, so he's gonna be zapping one of the scatter shots. So let's see what he does. He also has 2 jumps instead of 2 jumps and a rage instead of 2 rages and a jump. Uses sneaky goblins just to funnel that area, and also the sneaky goblins are going to be pulling the CC, which is the lava hound and the headhunters. Now puts the queen just a little bit to the right of 12, and he doesn't have a poison, so he decides to start putting all his witches just to assist the queen in killing this CC. The headhunters go down nice and quick. Now the lava hound is dying very quickly as well. Uses a few limbs just to kill that archer tower, just to make sure that most of his troops do walk where he wants them to walk, which is towards the town hall. And they start walking. One of the rogue super witches decides that she wants to go for a walk. Thankfully, this rogue super witch didn't take all of the healers, which usually that's what happens in these attacks when the super witch decides to go walking. But that's alright. Uses the king and siege barracks at 9 o'clock just to funnel those buildings, just to make sure that everything else goes into the town hall, and puts a jump for them to go into the center of the base towards the multi-inferno. This base had 2 multi-infernos, which makes it really good for super witches. He still has a lot of wizards and witches from the siege barracks, and now the Valks are coming out. The king is also on the outside, just breaking through a wall. He's going to be able to go in, get rid of the scattershot, get rid of both heroes there, while the rest of his army is in the center of the base. He did put that jump there just to connect the eagle, scatter, and single inferno compartments, so really nice second jump. King ends up clearing that compartment with the scattershot, and now they'll go into the single inferno compartment. The king is just like a zombie king. He has like 1 HP left, but he's still clearing some more defenses. The queen has to go through ability just to get rid of the warden statue. She almost kills the defending royal champion, sends his royal champion at 3. I think she only got a few Teslas, so probably not the best value for the royal champion, but he still has so many super witches and big boys going through the base. There's only 1 multi-inferno left. Multi-inferno cannot do anything against super witches, so now it's just a race against time. We get the Tesla, the cannon, now it's just a wizard tower left, and this is a nice triple by CJ against bats. Very nicely done. And now we've got antibiotics for Inquisition, and he's coming in against CJ, and he's coming with hybrid as well. So let's see what he does. Sends Coquelin for the Blim. He wants the Blim to go into the Skyshot compartment. The Sweeper almost hits it, but not really. And then the Royal Champion pulls the Yetis towards the Skyshot. The Yetis kill the Royal Champion. The Yeti must kill the Skyshot, and a few more defenses. This is a freeze for the headhunters. That's gonna allow the queen to not go to ability, and then he puts his poison down a little bit too early, I think, since the headhunter is still alive, and it's gonna take her a little while to get rid of that lava hound. Lava hound finally pops, however the poison has gone, so she still has to kill all of the pups. Usually when I see people using the freeze first for the headhunters and then the poison, is because they want the poison for the pups. On this occasion it took a little bit of time. Puts the Yeti at 430 just to funnel the queen. That's going to allow the queen to go inside towards the bomb tower, and he also has 3 super wall breakers that he's going to be able to use to try to go into the center of the base. Bomb tower goes down, sends the first super wall breaker, he targets the wizard tower. Then he sends the second super wall breaker and targets the expo. Then he sends the third one, and that one finally targets the wall that he wanted. Uses the freeze for the single inferno, which was targeting the queen, puts the rage down, it's gonna speed her up and gets rid of the single inferno. And he has his king at 7 and the hybrid going in between directly into the town hall. Now the queen is in a perfect compartment where she's gonna be able to get rid of the multi-inferno, the eagle, the enemy queen, the warden statue, so it's a really nice compartment to be in with the queen charge. Uses the heal for his hybrid troops as they're going into that second scattershot. The multi-inferno now is targeting his healers, but the queen goes to the multi-inferno and gets rid of it nice and quick. He has a trillion hybrid troops. The scattershot goes down. The queen is now targeting the king. Somehow this queen manages to get rid of the defending king. Usually if that was my queen, she would have been slapped very quickly and that would not have happened. but that's alright. Uses the Queen ability. Now she's going to be able to go through the wall, and she's going to be able to target the multi-inferno as well. He still has the Royal Champion ability. This was a very nice triple by Antibiotics. Really nice Queen charge into the center of the base, pretty much giving her free reign to clear everything. Uses the Royal Champion ability at the end, and this was a nice triple by Inquisition. So we ended up with 3 triples each. We ended up taking the win on percent, 91.8 to 90.4%, 3 triples each. I had a 96% time fail, but thankfully we were able to get the triples that we needed to win this war. The last 4 teams are Blood and Soul, Kings of Teabag, and our opponents for the semifinals, this Greek team, which we have faced before in other competitions. They're really good. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more Clash. See ya.